and welcome to another edition of Gamezillong Countdown. It's Mecha March once more, and today I'll be going over my favorite Gundam shows. For this list, I'll be sticking to shows that originally aired on TV, so no OVAs or films. Maybe I'll cover some of those another time. Anyway, let's get to the list.
Number 10.
Gundam Wing is complicated. With so many characters following many different plotlines simultaneously, it can be easy to lose track of what's happening. And it's that complexity that made Gundam Wing stand out when it first hit American airwaves, the first Gundam to air as part of the then-new Toonami block. As a result, it holds a special place in the hearts of American anime fans. And I'll agree, with well-written characters, except for Wu Fei, and great designs for the mobile suits. But that having been said, I think there are better shows, hence why it's so low on my list.
Number 9.
Just about every Gundam show has child soldiers. Heck, most mecha anime have child soldiers. But by and large, no one really comments on this fact. Iron-Blooded Orphans, on the other hand, puts this trait front and center, focusing on a whole organization run by children that have witnessed the cruelty of humanity on the frontiers of human exploration as they battle for a better future for themselves. Again, great characters and mobile suit designs, and a very vocal fan base. I feel it's a good show, but there are better.
Number 8.
Gundam Build Divers was pretty predictable to the point where I didn't care much for it. Re-Rise seemed like it was going to be similarly predictable, but after the obvious plot twist halfway through the series, the show shifts focus to the main characters self-reflecting and trying to overcome their flaws in order to better themselves individually and as a team, despite being randomly slapped together. And no joke, one particular episode of this series has brought me to tears each time I watch it, and for that alone, Re-Rise gets a spot on this list.
Number 7.
The original, the classic. Mobile Suit Gundam was one of the first real robot anime, focusing more on the characters as they experienced the horrors of war than on the glory of combat itself. Which isn't to say that the show is lacking in great action scenes, as there are plenty. And every mobile suit is well designed, with each one that appears in the series being full of character, even the grunts. While it was cut short due to poor toy sales, resulting in a somewhat rushed ending, it still remains a must-watch in the genre, and obviously the rest of the franchise wouldn't exist if not for this first entry.
Number 6.
What if mobile suits existed during the American Civil War? That's basically what Turn A Gundam feels like, but with the twist of the protagonist, Lauren Sahak, trying to prevent a war against the Moon race, humans that had been living on the Moon and who seek to migrate to Earth. While the series has its share of mobile suit battles, with several suits coming from past shows, the majority of the series reflects on the calm that exists outside of battle, as both sides toe the line between war and peace, trying not to invoke the former.
Number 5.
In the beginning, it feels much like a retread of the original Mobile Suit Gundam, but as the series progresses, Mobile Suit Gundam Seed explores far darker themes of genetic augmentation and the depths of bigotry. It becomes clear that neither side of the conflict are in the right, with both sides motivated largely by hatred. While the lead character winds up being incredibly lucky to the point of incredulity, he and his allies try to bring an end to the war before both sides commit mutual genocide. Add to that the running theme of friends torn apart by war, and it's no wonder it's pretty popular.
Number 4.
Set years after the events of the original series, Zeta Gundam explores the aftermath of the One-Year War and the shift of the Federation, the default good guys of the original show, into a totalitarian regime at the hands of an oppressive offshoot known as the Titans. To combat that, various individuals from all walks of life must band together to stop the Titans from continuing to commit acts of atrocities in the name of peace. The series also further explores the concept of new types that were introduced late in the original series, showing that they are much more than mere psychics, but are certainly still human.
Number 3.
A significant reason for Gundam's continued popularity is its line of plastic model kits, called Gunpla for short. In honor of this, Sunrise produced Gundam Build Fighters, a celebration of this creative side of the Gundam fandom. The series takes a look at not only the building of Gunpla, but focuses primarily on those who choose to customize their models, turning the mass-produced kits into something very personal for each builder. And then they put their skills to the test and battle with other builders, with the battles reflecting the imagination that the builders pour into their creations. This series inspired me to get into Gunpla, a hobby I have enjoyed ever since I first watched the show. To sum up, I'll just quote the show itself. Gunpla is freedom.
Number 2.
Giant robots in general seem like such a far-off futuristic notion, and not even Gundam is immune from this. Gundam O, however, takes place in a not-so-distant future, depicting conflicts that are all too familiar to many parts of the world, even a decade since the show came out, telling a story that feels as if Wing was there and followed up by Zeta. In addition to giving a glimpse at how the world suffers from conflict, the show also addresses how many civilians choose to ignore the problems until it affects them directly, and how they react when that happens. This show has forced me to confront my own dismissiveness of war and taught me to better empathize with the innocent victims of war.
Honorable mentions.
The Witch from Mercury has such a distinct feel for a Gundam show, with the first season feeling like a school drama with very low stakes for the franchise. Then the conclusion of the season tears down the idyllic veneer and reveals the truly broken state of the world the show is set in, setting the tone for a great second season. It does a fantastic job at presenting its story, but it's so new that my opinion may change in the future, so I'm only including it as an honorable mention for now.
Number 1.
Aside from the build entries in the series, Gundam is well known for focusing on war. So when you get an entry that chooses to eschew war altogether, it's going to stand out. Mobile Fighter G Gundam is what you'd get if you crossed Gundam with Street Fighter, with over-the-top giant robot battles between martial artists from all over the world. And while most of the entries on this list have interesting designs for all their mobile suits, G Gundam focuses primarily on interesting and varied designs for Gundam specifically. While some of the designs could be more culturally sensitive, and many of the combatants of the tournament are just one-off characters, sometimes you don't want to reflect on a grim reality and just want to watch giant robots punch each other. And that's just what Mobile Fighter G Gundam delivers. And just to show how much I love the top entry, I actually own 3 different versions of the entire series. And I've made an entire video talking about it years ago on my personal channel. So what are your favorite entries in the Gundam franchise? Let us know down in the comments, and until next time, I'm ProtoMet. See ya!